Okay, Ryan. So today, as far as getting information over to you on the legacy planning, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give you access to the portal. We do this in a couple of different ways. I want to actually show you how the portal works. But let me do this real quick. I know this is gonna make me this is how I tell people this is how secure is it makes you log in all the time. So I'm gonna give you access. Remember I told you that you're not gonna you don't have to put any account numbers or social security numbers, but
Right.
we do need a name and an email.
Yep.
So did
Ryan
I?
Dennis. Yep.
Okay, and then what's the email address?
Ryan Dennis at Gmail.
Okay, and then what about your spouse? Danielle, right?
Yeah. Danielle. Yep.
Same last name
Yep. Same last name.
and her email?
It's Danny Danie dot Bonner Bonner at Gmail.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to assign, oh, something's dot Bonner? Something isn't right. Danny
Yeah.
dot Bonner at gmail.com?
Yeah. Your system doesn't like the
The
dot.
extra.
I don't think. Oh, you have a space at the end. That's what it is.
Okay.
You should be good now.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to assign
Okay.
these dot because I know that you have a family
Yep.
and I know that, so I'm gonna assign these to you guys. There's gonna be an email that's gonna come from here that's gonna say, trusted covenant,
Okay.
and so you're going to get an invitation. Look for something from Snug and
Okay.
Minder, Trusted Covenant. So I'm going to send client invite. So
Okay.
when you get this, what you're going to see is you're going to see this part right here, and I'm gonna click on this right here. Now I want to show you how cool this is from a get organized standpoint. So you're going to have in the overview, the first part that you're going to see, and this is very emotional for people, so I leave this for last, but I trust that you know what this is doing. A letter to your family. Remember, this is how important it is like
Yep.
your final, your wishes to your family. You could write out something, and if you need any inspiration, you got something here that says, hey, what were your most important pieces of wisdom that you learned? Remember, we talked about the individual, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now what we're going to review, I'm going to go over all of these items that create your plan, your personal, your legal, your financial, your property, your insurance, taxes, and digital. And I'm going to touch on that. But before I do that, I want to show you that all necessary thing. Remember that sharing thing that I told you about?
Yes.
This is where you share with the individuals. It could be your spouse, professional advisors, or any trusted family members, and you share them, once the documents are created. Okay.
Okay.
So on the Essentials tab, I'm going to show you how to create your trust documents, the power of attorney, and the healthcare directive. We'll get to that. But what I really wanted to do is I wanted you to see how intuitive this is. And of course, I'm sharing, my family's information, but here's where you would add any friends or anybody that would be like a guardian. This is where you would add the person. You would add the pet if that's what you wanted to create a pet trust. And eventually, not right now, but we're going to be able to add medical history, employment history, and education. This is for you to leave to your family. I don't get a chance to see this at all as your advisor. Okay. I want to make that distinction because once we get off of this, it's all on you unless you're willing to share that information with me.
Okay.
Now, here you have your marriage, like your marriage certificate. That'd be pretty cool to have here. Any business interest and anything else that has to do with your legal aspects, right?
Okay.
And then this is where we determine your net worth. So here's all the savings, checking, investment, retirement accounts, and then all your debts, right? And the difference between those two is your net worth. So we're gonna help you to remember that fast track we talk about, where to
Right.
qualify. This is how we're gonna determine if you qualify for this. Okay. Any questions on that?
No, that's pretty comprehensive.
And then on the property side, you have you really are getting organized. We're putting in, some people have vacation homes, RVs, land, things like that. And then you're going to be able to designate, like, say, for example, you wanted to put your car here, you could put the description. And if you want to leave it to your son, this is what you would do. You would just list it here. This is not necessarily what's in the will, but it helps you to get organized in the will and your trust. So
Got
then
it.
Yep. So then you list all the personal stuff like furniture, jewelry, clothing, all that stuff. And then you go over to the insurance. This is how we know you can keep track of, how much life insurance you have, if there's any deficit for you to leave the family what you want them to leave to make sure that they're okay. But then you can keep it, keep track of your home and auto. And this is where we go do a comparison. When you do this, we're our fulfillment team, if you decide to go with us, they're going to review this for you just to make sure that you're, got the right coverages and that you have the best, pricing in place. No one likes to talk about taxes, but if you're going to leave your family an opportunity to really do this the right way, you're gonna want to keep track of your tax returns, and then this makes it easier for the person that's going to be running your estate, your trustee and sub trustees, and your legal guardians to be able to execute the plan that you put in place. And no one wants to talk about this, but guess what? Everybody has gone social. So your social media, how do you want to memorize them? Your photos, your subscriptions, your digital assets. You're going to be able to designate all that stuff right here. Like what's the password? How like this is literally saying use the notes to include any special instructions like preference to memorize or shut down the account, any location of the relevant passwords, all of that stuff. You are getting organized from A to Z. I mean, you got digital assets, you got all your subscriptions and stuff, so that you can, your family will have a chance to know where all this stuff is and be able to execute the plan for you, right? Now, here's one way that we like to help you. And if from a client journey, look at the science behind this. So most people want to know, well, should I get a will or a trust? Okay. Well, let's get started. So how old are you?
45.
Okay. And then married, right?
Yep.
And children under 18.
Yep.
And what assets do you own? You can do as many as possible. Um,
Um, uh, Real estate, brokerage,
mhm,
um, business interests,
mhm.
some
Okay.
crypto. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be in there. And
Yeah.
then you said it was like a partnership or LLC?
It's an S corp.
It's S corp.
Corporate. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So then this is good. What's the value of your assets, over 150,000 or between 150,000 and a million?
Between 150 and a million.
150. Okay. Um, Now how do you own most of your assets, individually or jointly as a partner with your spouse?
It's a combination.
Like a
Yeah,
little bit of both?
but yeah.
Okay. And now which we already mentioned earlier from, that you didn't have any of these things in place. Is
Yep.
that okay?
Correct. Yep.
We'll just say no. And then, so what I'm doing is I'm actually showing you some of the things that we can include, right?
Yep.
So what is important to you in your life? A good estate plan will build around these priorities. And don't worry, you always be able to change your mind. So you can always change it and update it. Actually, we recommend it on an annual basis. So a last will and testament is a public record and can be read by anyone for any reason. Those nosy neighbors, right? Those second
Yep.
cousins. And so for some people, this is a reason to get a revocable trust. Now, how important is it to you to keep your estate plan out of the public eye? 5 being very important, 0 being not important to you.
5.
Good choice. Um, did you know that the probate process can take 12 to 24 months to complete? Any beneficiaries will wait till the probate process is done in order for them to get their inheritance. There are a few strategies to avoid probate and assets, and this is one of them. How important is it to you to quickly distribute your estate to your beneficiaries?
A 5.
Okay. All right. Did you know up to 40% of families report internal conflict when settling an estate? Transparency in planning and clear communication can help keep a family strong after the death. So, to ask you this, how important is it for you to reduce the risk of family challenging your estate?
5.
Okay. Just a couple more and we'll get there. Did you know that a last will and testament will require a lengthy process, but is easy set up and maintained, but a revocable living trust requires several hours each year to maintain, but it skips the probate and can simplify the settlement of your estate. So how important is it for you to minimize your loved one's effort in settling your
5.
estate? Yeah. And then any of these situations, any pending divorce, estranged children, adult dependents, prenups, non-US
Nope,
citizen?
nope.
None? Okay, that's perfect. So almost done here. What it's gonna say is, let's just put one. All right, let's just put down. All right, so it crashed on us. That's okay.
No.
What this would do at the end is
Okay.
actually would tell you, based on the questions you've answered, the best option for you
Okay.
is to get a trust plan. It would actually tell you that, but it's
Try hitting F5 and refreshing. I wonder why.
F5
Yeah.
or just the refresh screen
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Or just a refresh one there.
Hope it doesn't take us all the way to the front. Oh yeah, it's gonna start from scratch. But anyway,
Wow. Okay.
so, so that's that. And then this is how we get the client to be involved in the process. And then what you're gonna do when you're ready to do this, you're gonna click on wills and trusts.
Okay.
I can actually help you with this because this is what I said I would do. But what you would do is you would go in here and it would say create a new power of attorney, and then obviously this is not your account, so we're not going to do it here. But if you want us to go through this with you, this is what our fulfillment team would do with you: is help you go through and
Okay.
navigate through these questions to you can do the document.
Cool. So I would get an email
Yeah.
to put my information in, and
Mhm.
then I just follow that to log into this.
Yeah, so when you get the email, it should
Okay.
already have your name and your email address. You just create a password and then you're gonna land right here. This is your dashboard. So
Okay.
this is why I love this because it's so intuitive and so comprehensive that
Oh
every
yeah,
client
I see the email here. I do have an email.
Yep.
Okay.
Now do you wanna
I'm
do
just
you
gonna
wanna
start.
do this and then you could just share your screen and then we could do your side?
We can set up another time because I do have
Yeah.
to run,
Yeah.
but I do want to do it. So if it means we need to set up another time, then that's fine. Yeah.
Well, here's what I would say.